dog by the side of a river, and there was great controversy where she did or didn't sit on a park bench and phone calls that might or might not have been made. Well, unbelievably, that was more than 2 years ago, and it drew significant media attention. But LBC's Henry Riley can now reveal the site of her grave in Lancashire has become a site of what's called tragedy tourism. One TikTok user has been live streaming from the site and claims to be able to communicate with the spirit of the late mother of two. Henry Riley has the exclusive report. Henry?
Well, Nick, as you say, Nicola Bulley went missing on the 27th of January 2023. A mother of two, she disappeared walking her dog along the River Wire in Lancashire. Her body was then found over 3 weeks later, and there was an inquest which found that she died as a result of drowning. But it didn't stop many conspiracy theorists at the time. It garnered a huge amount.
Well, this was the first sort of online sleuth case, effectively.
Exactly.
Wasn't it, really?
You had people heading to the site, heading to these sort of small villages in Lancashire and getting in the way of the police, and so-called experts also trying to help as well. And since then, Nick, we've had the family really appealing for privacy, saying that what they've been through is unimaginable and that they'd like to be able to grieve. But as you say, the actual grave of Nicola Bulley now has become the site of tragedy tourism. And I think it links in, we were talking about TikTok on Monday as part of LBC's Online Safety Day. In this case, you have another instance of controversial content on TikTok. And in this particular case, you had thousands of people watching. Now, in this particular video, the individual is using an app called a Necrometer, which is a smartphone app designed for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts, which claims that it can detect and communicate with spirits. Now, this was happening in the dead of night. It was shortly before midnight on the 2nd of March, and this is a little of the broadcast.
Familiar place? Can you tell me what you mean by familiar place? Rock. Rock. I don't know what that means. Rock.
Terry is waiting for you.
Terry is waiting for you. Who's Terry? Is there any other graves around here which says Terry on it? Just in case we're not actually communicating with Nikki and it's someone else.
Phantom is bound to you.
Phantom is bound to me.
And as you heard, that it's sort of a ridiculous app that claims that the spirit of Nicola Bulley is talking. It puts it on the screen, and then you hear this sort of ghoul-like voice that explains it. Now, that broadcast continued into the early hours of the next day, and a lot of local people are telling us that it's having a real impact on the community. Matthew Salter, who is on Lancashire County Council, said it was upsetting and disrespectful. Peter Cartridge, who is another local councillor, said that doing this for TikTok kicks from the grave, for so-called tragedy tourism, is downright disrespectful. And another local described these people as TikTok ghouls. Kat Smith is the Labour MP for the area and told me it was crass and inappropriate.
I'm sickened and appalled by the idea that anybody would think it would be appropriate behaviour to live stream on TikTok from the grave of a woman who died in the most tragic of circumstances. And I would urge anyone who's even considering doing something so crass and inappropriate just to consider for one moment the impact that their actions will have on Nicola's family, who live in the community, her friends.
Now, Lancashire Police have told us that they are aware of the filming, saying they were made aware of a couple of incidents a few weeks ago of a TikToker live streaming from the area. They said that no offences have been committed, but they have spoken with the local community leaders as reassurance. And lastly, Nick, the individual you heard in that TikTok, I was speaking with him yesterday, and he claims that he was deeply affected by the story of Nicola Bulley and went to pay his respects, although whether live streaming from someone's grave is paying respects, I'm sure many locals would disagree.
And just lastly, we're not going to name quite rightly the TikTok account, but how popular is it? What sort of level of hits do these get?
Quite a lot. I mean, that live broadcast, when you consider it's just before midnight on a sort of random evening, you've got well over, close to 2,000 people watching at any one time. And the comments as well, Nick, on that particular video, often very positive, saying keep going. And at one point he does get the shot where the police arrive as well and are trying to sort of talk to him.
He's not actually committing an offence, is he?
Not committing an offence, absolutely, but there's a lot of supportive comments. People, I would say, possibly egging him on, saying that what he's doing is being very respectful.
But lastly, I don't know whether we want legislation to sort of start start arresting people who are misguided. Can I say slightly nutty? I didn't know we had that legislation. I'd be in trouble every time I stepped out of my house.
It's exactly. It's just the fact that it is not illegal, but very distasteful.
All right, Henry Riley reporting with that exclusive 8:27. Let's come back to the conversation we started at the top of the hour. So the decision not to classify the Southport killer as a